Okay, so this is there's so much hype on social media about investing and buying companies and buying shares, but here's the thing: no one really talks about the importance of buying undervalued companies. When we invest, we want to find gains. There's a famous quote. Um I forgot who came up with the quote, but he said, money is made when we buy. Money is not made when we sell. I just forgot who that guy is. He's into real estate. So when we buy assets, money is made when we buy. We don't make money when we sell. Um, we don't make money when we sell. So money is made when we buy. So you'll understand what I mean by that here. So let's go to let me share my screen first. Let me share my screen. Hold on just a sec. Can you see my screen on on your side? Is it visible?
To myself, no.
No, it's not. It's not visible.
No, it's not
Is it?
visible.
Yo, kanjani manje? Okay. Uh, Let me try again. But on my side, it shows. Okay, let me try this way. Can you see it now?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I
Thank
said
you for
I
that.
can see.
Okay. Thanks. So this is trading, right? So this is where we find information about a company, guys. You can find it on Google, yes. You can find it on ChatGPT or any AI that you use. Yes, it's possible. But the most credible information you'll ever get about a company is from TradingView or Yahoo Finance. But Yahoo Finance is not big enough friendly, and they don't have this chart where you can see the performance of a company. So this chart, guys, this graph in forex trading, when they see this, they say, hey, it's forex. What they see usually is trend line. They will see this in most cases. And that's absolutely fine, right? That's their way of interpreting a performance of a financial instrument, right? So, us, when we see this, when others see the candlesticks, we must see a thing. What do we call it? We must see I don't have a term for it, but this is just an interpretation of the performance of a company. That's what you must see. And which helps you with seeing history. My judgment on the performance of the anticipated performance of a company is based on history in most cases, right? So for traders, they use candlesticks in most of the cases. As investors, we don't use candlesticks. They have too much fake outs and fake out moves. So I prefer line chart, or at least this type of chart, right? So I just want to make a disclaimer because I saw someone on the group asking why I didn't give, asking the reason for this group. Guys, I'm not a financial advisor, right? I don't give advices. I'm just an accountant by profession, but I don't give advices. I don't advise, right? So everything that I teach is mainly for education purposes, is never meant to advise anyone. When I see companies on the group and say, I expect this company to grow, I'm not saying to you that buy it. Don't. I'm just saying this is what I see. And you're more than welcome to to come with your own point of view so that we can correct each other here and there. Right? So here's the thing now. Um, we go to financials now, right? Let me delete these things, these trend lines. We go to financials. How do we go to financials? You zoom your chart, okay? You zoom your chart until it shows you something like this. This D. D stands for dividends, right? And then you must find E. You see now there are many, these ones. There's E and D, right? So E stands for earnings. D stands for dividends. You just click on it. It will show you something like this. It's just the summary of the performance of a company, right? And then you click on more MTN earnings, right? So it will take you to this page now. So this is very, 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 very important, guys. And I know that maybe it may seem complicated for now for some of you, but this is very simple. Like it's very, very simple to understand once you can give yourself time. So here's the thing. We have, okay, TradingView will very often pop up this notification here. It's very important that you don't click on try now. You just cancel it. You don't pay anything to use this. This is just an ad, right? For what we do, you don't need to pay anything. We have all the information we need. We have a way to bypass it. So the most important thing that I look at is market capitalization. What is market capitalization? Market capitalization is what the company is selling for. What are they selling this company for? It fluctuates every day, every minute, every second. The market capitalization influences this thing here. This is a share price, by the way. So you see that is 21,065. This is the share price, meaning one share they're selling it for this amount. But here's the thing. It's not 21,000 rand. Why? Because when you check this here, you notice that this thing is written ZAC. Can you see it? ZAC is ZAC cents, right? So you need to turn it to ZAR because this is in cents. You see it's written ZAC, South African cents. So you need it to be presented in rand. So now it's South African rand. And there you go. Now it shows you the share price of this company with what? In what? In rands, meaning one share price is how much? 210, right? So this number fluctuates every minute. I think now it doesn't move because maybe the market closed, right? So let's go back to our financials. So the market cap, they're saying to you that if you were to buy MTN today, we will sell it to you for 384 billion, right? This is it. But that is not really how much it is worth. That's not the original value. I'm just selling it to you for this amount so that I can get the profit. So how much is the real value, right? We go to statements. This is where you see the real numbers. This is the real information about a company now, not hype, not social media, financial influencer, or not even social media, but the media itself, about BlackRock, when they say, hey, they anticipate that this company's or Nvidia is gonna boom, or gold is gonna go to 6.8. That is just expectations, right? So you want to deal with real numbers. So the most important statement here is balance sheet. it tells you the real value of a company without a hype, right? So here you have total assets. And please, guys, feel free to stop me and say, okay, feel free to unmute and just ask me a question, because if you type it on the comment section here, I may not see it, right? So if you have a question, you can feel free to just um uh unmute and then ask. So you have, oh, to keep taking us back, you have MTN here. What did I say is the most important statement? I need a
The
response
balance
from you.
balance sheet.
Balance sheet is the most important one. When you have a business and you want to apply for a loan at the bank, if you go there under a business, they will want to see your financials. Is your balance sheet, your income statement, and cash flow. This tells them the real performance of a company. So you guys are not working at a bank. You guys are not accountants. You guys are people who just want to invest. You don't want to know the complexity of what accountants see here when they see these things. This is my language. I love it so much. And I understand every word, every number here. I can tell you what it means. And you don't have to understand all of them. So here's the thing. You have to focus on their assets, liabilities, and equity. This tells you the real value of a company. What is assets? Assets is anything that the company can sell, or anything that the company can convert into cash, right? Asset is things like properties. What is a property? A property is an asset, right? Why? Because they can convert it into cash. And this is why there's a myth that property is an asset. Well, yes, it is an asset on the balance sheet. But is it really an asset? Is it putting money into your pocket? Well, at least that's Robert Kiyosaki's philosophy. He believes if a property is not putting money into your pocket, it's not an asset, it's a liability. Of which I agree with him on that. So, asset is anything that the company can convert into cash. They don't necessarily have to, it doesn't necessarily have to be their trading stock, their inventory. No, it's not the stock, it's the assets. The asset is like a property, the machinery, the equipment, the telephones, the computers, the vehicles. Those are the things that the company need to operate and function. But if they sell them, if they go on auction, they can get a cash. That's what it means. Number two, you have liabilities, total liabilities. What are the liabilities now? These are the things that the company owe to their lenders. You have assets, they bought a property, right? I didn't want to take you into accounting class, but it seems like we are there. They bought a property. You buy a property for how much? For 1 million. But you didn't have 1 million to buy a property. So you use the bank's money. So the banks loan you a money, give you money to buy or they purchase a property for you and then make you pay the installments, right? That liability is recorded here, is total liability. So you have asset, which is the property, and the liability is what I owe. So whenever you hear, what is your net worth? I get this question a lot. Do you guys, are you guys also wondering what my net worth is?
Yes.
So a net worth is what I would be left with after selling everything that I own, right? So you'll never have an actual number, like an exact figure. It's impossible because you don't know how much you'll be left with. You have a cell phone is an asset. You you have a bed. You have a laptop. You have this and that. Those are assets. You won't really know how much is your net worth. You can only estimate. A net worth in this case A net worth of a company is the assets, the property, right, minus liabilities, which is what is a liability, what they owe. So this is their total equity. It's called equity. So this is the most important thing, important line in a company. No line on the financial statements is more important than this line, total equity, because it tells us the net worth, the real worth of a company. So it says here that our assets in 2025 was 498 billion. And if you don't see where I see this 498 billion, please ask, guys. I don't want you to lose me. Here we have 498 billion 2025. Just follow the arrow, this thing. So you have 498, the liabilities. Okay, the property is worth how much? We'll just say it's property, it's not only property. We'll just say the property is how much? It's 498 billion. But they owe how much to the bank? 328. So if the bank were to repossess their property and take them to auction, how much is the real value? How much is their real worth? After paying their liabilities, how much are they left with? 169 billion. So this means that if you pay all your debt, all your credit cards, all your student loans, if you still have them, all your car, your vehicle loans, all your bond, your mortgage, and all of those loans, different loans. If you pay all of them, how much would you be left with in your pocket and say, yeah, this is mine. I don't owe anyone. It's this much. It's 169 billion. So this is the real value of a company. This is the secret here. This is what the banks look at. And this is what the accountants, when we say we invest in a company, we look at first, right? This is not the only thing, but this is one of the things that we look at. And then if the real value of a company is 169 billion, but they're selling it to us for how much? 384 billion. Is that a good deal? Come on, guys. They're selling it for
384.
they're selling it to us for 384. But the real value of it is how much? Is
169.
169. So is that a good deal? Is it wise for me as an investor or for me as a buyer to buy this? It's overvalued, this thing. They overvalue it. Does it make sense? So they're ripping me off. I'm buying this company at a premium. But one would say, no, this MTN, man. MTN is every household have MTN. Every house have MTN, no matter what. There's one person who's using an MTN network, you see. So, and they buy MTN shares, not knowing that they're actually buying they're buying one premium. They're losing. They're being ripped off. It's like I'm saying the price of bread is 20 rand. The normal price of bread is 20 rand. But because you don't know how to find the price of bread, how to calculate it, you don't know the price of bread, I'm gonna sell it to you for 60 rand, one loaf. Is that fair? That's not fair. And that's what they did here with the numbers, with the help of who? Accountants. Accountants. They're the ones who write these numbers here. You see. So here you buy MTN, you're getting ripped off. So if ever you hear someone on social media say that they bought MTN shares this year, you already know they don't know what they're doing because it's overvalued. Number two, I go to cash flow. Cash flow shows the real number now. Cash is cash. Cash is cash. Flow is the flow of cash. Cash flow. How did the cash flow? Cash, guys, not credit, cash. Money that left the bank account. Not a promise that someone will pay you. Not a debtor or a creditor. Not a loan. is cash, right? So how much cash was flowing? So they got cash from investing, from operations. They get cash from investing, and they get cash from financing, right? So I don't want to explain to you minus plus. What does it mean? No. Let's focus on what free cash flow. Free cash flow means how much are they left with in their bank account after paying everyone. So this is the line here, free cash flow. 2019, how do I see that is 2019? 2019 is here. 2019, 20, 21, 22. So we go down, right? So 2019 was the free cash flow was 12.8 billion. 2020 was 35 billion. 2021 was 42 billion. 2022, it declined to how much? To 36 billion. So what you must think now is what happened in 2022 that made MTN's cash to decline while we had COVID in 2021, in 2020, right? But then we started to see the impact of it, because we don't just have COVID today and then the impact of it on a company is immediately today. It will take some time, maybe 6 months, 12 months before the company can retrench workers, right? And then what happened after the COVID? It declined in 2022. It lost value by how much? 15%. 15 I don't have an arrow. 15.81%. It went to 36 billion. And then in 2023, it declined again to 30 billion. It shows that they're still struggling from COVID. COVID really hurt them. You see, you don't hear this from the headlines saying, hey, COVID hurt MTN. You see it through the numbers. You are able to interpret the company. Say, 2023, they went to 30 billion. And then 2024, after they had problems, man. They even went to 20 billion. And people start doing what? People start selling their MTN shares because they say MTN is no longer performing good. But look what happened in 2025. It increased by 115%. It went from 20 billion to 45 billion. So the company picked up. You understand? It means that, oh no, they're making money. It's nice, it's interesting. We're expecting the same, we're anticipating the same outcome even next year. You see. So in 1907, there was a crash. There was a market crash in the US. It was a Spanish flu. It was caused by the Spanish flu, which led to the implementation of the Federal Reserve Bank in 1913, right? So we had the Great Depression in 1929. So during the Great Depression in 1929, you know what happened? The stock market crashed. And after it crashed, everyone started to panic and they sold their shares. This is what is happening today. The market will crash because of we have war. They introduced something called in the US. I'm sure you can back me up on this one because you are there. They introduced something called um private credit. So what private credit is actually something that is similar to what triggered the 2008 market crash, financial crisis. So in 2008, what triggered the financial crisis was that banks were giving loans. They were financing properties to people who didn't qualify. You go to FMB and say, FMB, I saw a property there in Centurion for 2 million. It's a nice 4 bedroom, 2 bath. I want it. And then they say, hey, when how much is your credit score? And you say, my credit score is about 400. It's not really good. And they give you, even though they see that you're not capable of paying. So that's what was happening in 2008. Banks were giving people loans to people who didn't qualify. So it got to a point where the market just crashed because it created a bubble. It's a long subject which I can go 2 hours teaching about it. But it created a bubble, the bubble burst, the market crashed. Okay. Why do I even say the market crashed, but I don't show you? Let me show you guys. We have, okay, here on MTN history. When I say a company is actually interpreting history, this chart, you should see history of a company. I think sorry, I'm happy. The way I'm switching. Anyway, are you
Mm.
guys still with me?
We understand.
So,
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we're
are
here.
understanding.
pardon?
We are doing well.
Okay, I appreciate that. So you
Mm.
notice that here, this was when date is down here, 2020, right? This company was so bad, was at its lowest, which the share price was how much? 51.84. Where do I see it here? These lines, they talk to us, guys, this cross. So it was here. And then we had COVID. You had people, everyone telling, because we had COVID, you had all these financial advisors on TikTok, on social media. Was TikTok there? I'm not sure. On social media saying that people made money on Sasol, and then boom, they started buying, they started buying, they started buying. And then the ripple effect of COVID started to come, started to show up now. And then the market started to do what? It started to crash. The share price was how much? 190. It went from 190 to how much? Boom, to 80, 79. People were panicking. They were like, hey, you know what? I I don't want to lose more of my money. I don't want this share price to go there, all the way there. I'm just selling my shares. And they started selling. And with the numbers now, let's go here. Exactly here. When was this? 2024, right? Meaning this company started to do well when? After 2024, because this was towards the end. It started to do well here in 2025, right? So let's go to our financial statements and see if they're telling us the truth, if that graph is saying the same thing. You see what happened in 2024? It was 20 billion free cash flow. That was at its lowest. And 2025, it went to 45 billion. Here,
Mm.
this is the graph going up. It doesn't make sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Okay, thank you. So now let's go back to our statements. This is where we see real information now. And by the way, let me show you why I say you must use this chart. Also, you must not use candlesticks because they lie a lot. They lie a lot. There's so much manipulation here on the candlesticks. For example, guys, before I started buying shares, before I started investing in shares, I was actually my journey to the reason for why I even started buying shares is because, or the whole story, the entire story, it goes back to like 2016, 2017. I just wanted a branded outfit. It was during that time of Scott Hannes and all of that. I wanted a branded outfit, and those things were very expensive. I think it was a Rossi Moda. I don't remember. RM, those clothes, you know. And I think I wanted one of those, and I couldn't afford it. And people that I thought would buy it for me couldn't afford it as well. That's when I saw that man. I love things, but I can't afford. You see, how do I come up with a way to make money? I didn't have my BCom degree by then. How do I come up with a way to make money without a qualification? And then I went to Google. I would have Wayne and Prince Mazivugu, cash flow. They were still the hot thing in the game of Forex by then. And I found out that Forex is one of them. You can make money through Forex and you don't need a qualification. I started learning it like crazy. So this is why I'm able to interpret these things. The knowledge that I got from Forex is helping me in shares. So I just as I went on studying successful people, guys in the likes of Robert Kiyosaki, as I gave reference to his quotes earlier on, he stressed the importance of building a generational wealth, you know, building something that your children can inherit. So Forex is active income, is not passive income. You still work for money. So it's not something that your children can inherit. It's like, nah, I'm on the wrong journey here. I'm as good as someone who just have a qualification, and when they die, the qualification expires, right? I wanted something that would last for generations, even my kids can have. And that's when I got into shares, you see. So my knowledge of interpreting this chart is from Forex. And my knowledge of um knowing, understanding the statements, the financial statements, is from my career, right? Which is what I do. I read companies every day. And then the knowledge of um understanding shares altogether, it's from mentorships. I bought mentorships, I paid for mentorships, I attended master classes like this one. I went to seminars. So all of this information combined, it creates Salmax. So this, I'm explaining this because I want to explain this now. This thing is called a wick in Forex. That's what they call it. Right? I'm sorry if I'm confusing you, but it's called a wick. This. So this is a broker's manipulation. This is a broker manipulating people, manipulating short-term investors, which are commonly known as traders. It shows here as though, it shows as if this thing here, the share price went all the way there, all the way to 210. This is fake. And down here, it shows as if the chart went all the way down, the share price went all the way down to 26 rand. This is fake because the real one is seen when you turn your line to line chart. Do you see the difference now? The real share price, it was here, 48. Do you see the difference now? I don't know if this makes sense, but the importance of turning your chart to a line chart, not a thing. Does it make sense, guys? Do you see what I mean? So
I
the
can see.
difference, yes, the
I can
difference is how many percent? Imagine 78, I mean
see.
80%. Yo, fake out. It's called a fake out in trading.
Okay.
Me, I like to call it manipulation. I just call it manipulation because they're manipulating traders here and short-term investors. So it's very important that we don't pay attention to noise. We must follow the real figures. The real information is this chart and the financial statements.
Um,
They speak the language. Yes.
oh, I was gonna ask, I think you already said it though. When you said the wick, you mean like a candle wick?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then when you said that the forex traders show it like that is like to exaggerate, it's like to exaggerate either the downfall of the market to force you to either invest or to buy, like to buy out with shares.
So traders, what they do, right? Or short-term investors, they pay attention to noise because they're short-term. They pay attention to stuff like this. The up and down. What happened here during this month? Each candle represents a month. What happened here? They were participating, and the market in the short term, it goes down, up, down, up, down. But in the long run, you notice that you are on an uptrend. You're not on a down, up, down, up. You are on an uptrend. You see, so short term, Are you short term are the most manipulated? This is why you have so many traders that don't make money because of this manipulation. So this up and down is just noise. And look, this is the noise that we experience today about war. They feed us with propaganda. Everything that we know about war is mainly from the US. Is mainly from the US media. Nothing from, we don't hear about war from Iranian source, Iranian media. So everything is a lie. I believe that everything is a lie. That's how I take it, because they're printing so much money. Everyone on this group understand how money is printed during these times. So the the noise, the up and down. Trump makes a tweet and say, I'm going to end civilization. And people do what? Oh, the company's going to crash. And then they said, oh, the company's going to go. Okay, this is a monthly time frame. Let me go to it daily. Let's say you focus on day and day and day. You'll see so much noise, so much up and down. So much up and down. Here. Let me just go back there. So these are the moves, these are the stuff that are happening. Trump says we're ending war with Iran, and then people gain confidence. The share price goes up, or the stock price goes up, and then suddenly says, "Hey, the peace talk failed," and then it crashes. Oh, we are actually negotiating, and then it goes up, and then Iran, we are going to close. We are going to do a blockade. We are going to block their their border, the Strait of Hormuz, and then it does what? It crashes. It's what is happening. That's how they make money. They buy and sell, but they are insiders. They know when this is going to go down. They know when this is going to go up. So it's considered to be noise. So much can happen here. You will lose so much money. Check the percentage from here to there. Okay, let's take it from down to up. I know why it seems like why it does that. Look, 35% you would lose. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So, but when you look at it in the long run, you notice that on a higher time frame, it was just too much noise that people were participating in it. I mean this for a long time. You see that noise is here. It seemed like it's a big thing, but it's only this portion here. Whereas if you just stay resilient, whereas if you just stay resilient, you won't experience this noise. You just say, you know what, fine, we have war, but I'm not going to sell my shares. I'm not going to follow the noise. I'm not going to panic because of Trump's tweet. There's so much propaganda here, which is one of the reasons why I'm no longer posting every day, because it's so much propaganda and I can see through it. And why? How can I see through it? I understand the money, the thing, the financial system, how the government print money, the Reserve Bank, the central bank. That's it. Once you understand that, you have the cheat code. It is as simple as that. So you guys understand it, but you will need to constantly practice. It takes experience more than it takes me revealing. I think I think some of you are struggling with network, ne? I see that it keeps kicking you out. DMD. Oh, come on. Please. Vuselela. I never won DMD. So it feels like an insult. Ne? Um so yeah, that's how it is, right? So don't focus on the noise, because it seems as though it's a huge thing. Like when we go back to a daily, and you even have, pardon? So you even have um You see, it seems like there's a lot of activity that happened here. It seems like it's a very, very long time. And you even have some traders or some investors who prefer for our time frame. That's where that's like you cutting yourself. It's like you're cutting your leg, you're cutting your entire leg and jumping straight into the ocean where there are sharks. Like you can't swim and you have blood on you. You know what happens? You know what happened. You know how Larry Fink feels when he sees these orders happening here. When he sees the short time frame things, gamblers. I like to call them gamblers. That's gambling there. And I say this with no remorse, with no apology. It's gambling, this one. Even if you turn it to a line chart, it's still gambling because it's short term. So investing works best for long term, guys. Does it? Short term is for trading. Yes, you are trading. Long term, you are investing. So it is as simple as that. I showed you everything that I needed to show you today. Now if you say you don't know how to analyze companies, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just a recap. Free cash flow must be positive and steady growth. Balance sheet, you always check the equity because equity is a real value. And this is, guys, this is the only, this is, this is it. I don't know how to explain it. You compare your equity with your market. That's the first step. Okay, now let's do it practically. Which company do you guys suggest I said? I want to show you whether it's
Sasol.
overvalued or undervalued. Sasol.
Can you please do Sasol?
Let's do Sasol. And I can assure you, so many people are jumping into the noise now. They're late to the party. They're late to this party here. This was the party. And this party started somewhere here in January, February, somewhere here, January. And yes, those who joined the party, they made it. Those who couldn't, opportunities will always come. That's it. Never have FOMO. So let's check if this is over now is over because this thing always fluctuates. Let's check if now is overvalued or undervalued. They're selling it for how much? For 140 billion. But how much is it worth? 157. It's undervalued. Do you see it? Still undervalued. What other company do we check? um let me think. Any company in your mind?
Can you please do Amazon? Amazon.
Amazon. Amazon, they're selling it for 2.9 trillion dollars, right? But the real value of it is 411 billion. That's that's being overvalued. The price of bread is $20, but I'm gonna sell it to you for 200 rand. That's how Amazon is at this point. Makes sense, right? So yeah,
Fortune, someone in the lobby.
yeah. Well, pardon?
Someone is in the lobby.
Not anymore. Are they still there? Yes. Hence, Donald Trump catch the phrase fake news. CNN. If you listen to CNN, you are cooked. Listen to CNBC, you are cooked. Owned by the same entity, they pick the same narrative and all of that. So, but here's the thing: in order to understand how they really lie, read a book called 1984 by George Orwell. In that book, that guy explained that there were times where they were at a war zone, right? And they were watching the news, right? It's like soldiers were chilling and watching the news, and they saw on the news a headline saying that they did something that they didn't. They said they want to bomb this place, but they never did. They were surprised to even see that on the news to say, hey man, why is the media saying we went to bomb this place? Why is that? They lie to keep us distracted and money is moving. So yeah, propaganda. Anyway, yeah, that's it for today, guys. Yeah, I'm done. If anyone have something to ask, I feel like I wanted to say something, but I forgot. But anyway, if anyone have a question, feel free. This is your time.